I swirl the wine in my glass, watching the deep red liquid catch the soft glow of the chandelier. The restaurant hums with quiet sophistication, muffled laughter, the distant clinking of silverware against porcelain. A world of wealth, where the right suit and the right last name can open every door. And yet, even in a room full of people, I feel alone. It's strange, really. I have everything. The power, the money, the respect. I'd built an empire with my own 2 hands, clawed my way to the top without apologies. I should feel invincible. But tonight, the weight of my own success feels heavier than usual. Maybe it's the wine. Maybe it's just one of those nights. I signal for the check, ignoring the server's polite smile. As I step outside, the city air greets me, cool, crisp, laced with a faint scent of rain on pavement. That's when I see him. At first, he's just another forgotten soul, hunched against the wall of a gas station across the street. A thin jacket, threadbare jeans, shoes barely holding together. The kind of man people pretend not to notice. But there's something different about him. The way he holds himself, the way he watches the world instead of hiding from it, the way he watches me. Our eyes meet, and for a brief, unsettling moment, I swear he recognizes me. I shake the thought away. Ridiculous. I don't know him. I've dealt with thousands of people in my life. Employees, rivals, men I crushed to get here. Faces blur. The past is nothing but a long-forgotten ledger of gains and losses. Still, there's something about him. My car is parked by the curb, sleek and polished under the streetlights. His eyes flick to it, lingering, not with envy, not with desperation, with something else. Familiarity. I exhale, shaking off the unease. It's late, and I don't have time for whatever moral dilemma is clawing at me. Impulse takes over. I reach into my wallet, pull out a crisp $100 bill. It means nothing to me, less than the cost of a single drink inside that restaurant. But to him, it could be food, a warm place to sleep, a second chance. I cross the street and hold it out. Here, I say, expecting a mumbled thank you, a look of gratitude, maybe even a little shame. But he doesn't reach for it immediately. Instead, he looks at me, not at the money, at me, his expression unreadable, his dark eyes calm, searching. Then, slowly, he takes the bill. No words. No thanks. Just a nod. And somehow, that makes me feel worse. I turn and walk away, shoving my hands into my coat pockets. Why do I suddenly feel like I was the one on the receiving end of that transaction? The morning sun floods through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my penthouse. A new day, another round of meetings, another deal to close. The unease from last night should be gone by now, but it lingers, like a shadow just out of sight. I shake it off, stepping out onto my balcony. Below me, the city stretches in every direction. Skyscrapers gleaming in the morning light, streets bustling with people moving through their lives. And then I hear it, the unmistakable roar of an engine. My car. I grip the balcony railing as my luxury sports car tears down the street, the unmistakable glint of its silver body catching the sun. Jacob is behind the wheel. For a moment, my brain refuses to process it. How? How the hell is this possible? Then the shock cracks open, and something darker rushes in. Rage, confusion, betrayal. Did I just get played? My chest tightens. Was this set up all along? Did he recognize me? Did he know exactly who I was when I handed him that money? Was it a trick? Or worse, was it personal? I slammed my fist against the balcony railing, my mind racing. That car was in my private garage, a place no homeless man should have had access to. This wasn't random. This wasn't just a theft. It was a message, and I had no idea what it meant. I don't remember the exact moment control slipped from my grasp, but I feel the absence of it now, suffocating me. My morning is supposed to begin with meetings, coffee, power plays. Instead, I'm hunched over my desk, knuckles white against the polished wood, staring at security footage that makes no damn sense. My car, gone. Jacob, if that's even his real name, wasn't some random thief who got lucky. The cameras show him walking into my private garage long before the theft. No hesitation, no forced entry. He belonged there, The longer I watch, the tighter my chest gets. He didn't hotwire the car. He drove it away, like it was his. My pulse pounds against my skull. This wasn't some act of desperation. This was personal. The phone feels cold in my hand as I dial security, my assistant, even the police. I want answers, now. There's no sign of forced entry. My head of security tells me he had access. Access? The word sets my teeth on edge. How? I demand. Someone had to let him in. Silence. I don't know, sir, he finally says, but he knew his way around. I grip my teeth, my nails digging into my palm. I should be furious. I should be plotting his downfall. But underneath the rage, something else lingers. Recognition. I know that name. Jacob. It sticks to my ribs like something half forgotten, half buried. A name I haven't spoken in years. A name I once trusted. The truth slams into me like a gut punch. I stare at the old photograph on my assistant's tablet. 2 boys, side by side, arms slung around each other, smiling. Jacob wasn't always homeless, broken, forgotten. He was once an entrepreneur, a man with a thriving automotive startup, a man with a dream. My stomach twists as the past I buried starts digging itself free. We were just kids when we made the promise. We get out together. We build something together. We were different from the others in our neighborhood. We didn't want scraps. We wanted to make something from nothing. And for a while we did. Fixing up junk cars, flipping them for profit. Long nights in a broken-down garage. Hands covered in oil. Whispers of the future slipping between us like electricity. No matter what happens, we make it together. That's what we swore. That's what I betrayed. The deal was too good to turn down. A powerful investor. A chance to build something bigger than either of us ever imagined. But there was a catch. They wanted me, not us. I told myself Jacob would understand. That it was just business. That I was doing what I had to do. I was wrong. He didn't just lose a company. He lost everything. His reputation. His future. His belief in me. And I never looked back. Until now. The warehouse is dark, except for the glow of a flickering overhead light. My car sits there, untouched. He didn't even try to run. He's waiting. I step forward, fists clenched, ready to tear him apart. But he's not afraid. He leans against the car, calm, composed, like he's the one in control. I don't like it. I want him to explain himself, to justify this insanity. But before I can speak, he does. Tell me, Jacob says, tilting his head, his voice infuriatingly steady. When was the last time you did something that didn't benefit you? My jaw tightens. What the hell does that? Not a deal. Not a favor that could be repaid. He takes a step closer. The same confidence he had when he stared at me on that street. Just something selfless. I say nothing, because I don't have an answer. And he knows it. I failed a test I didn't even know I was taking. That $100 bill, Jacob continues, eyes locked on mine. You didn't give it to help me. You gave it to make yourself feel better. I scoff. I don't owe you an explanation. No, he cuts me off. You owe yourself one. His words settle into cracks in my foundation, splitting them wider. For the first time, I realize I'm not here to punish him. I'm here because I need to know why. Why this felt like more than just a theft. Why I can't let it go. And he gives me my answer. I didn't steal your car, Damian. He tosses something to me. I barely manage to catch it. A key. My key. My breath catches. He smiles, but there's no amusement in it. Just quiet, inevitable truth. I had it all along. Silence stretches between us. And then, the final blow. That car? The one you love so much. He gestures toward it. It used to be mine, just like everything else you took. The world shifts beneath me. My stomach twists, my fingers tightening around the key. That's not. You bought my company for pennies. His voice is even, but I hear the weight behind it. You took everything I built, my designs, my future. You left me with nothing, and now you want to call me a thief. I feel like I'm falling, but there's no ground beneath me to catch the impact. Because he's right. Jacob doesn't look triumphant. He doesn't even look angry. He just looks tired, like he's waited a long time for me to finally see it. I inhale sharply. My mind races, searching for justification, an excuse, anything. But the truth is too loud. For the first time in my life, I don't feel like the man in control. I feel like the villain in someone else's story. And I don't know if there's any way to fix it. One call. That's all it would take. I hold the phone tight in my hand, my thumb hovering over the screen. One call and this is over. Jacob stands across from me, calm, steady, watching. He doesn't flinch, doesn't beg. Why isn't he afraid? I built my empire on dominance and control. I don't let people walk over me. I don't give second chances. I end threats before they begin. But for some reason, my hand won't move. Jacob tilts his head slightly, almost amused. What's the hesitation, Damian? His voice is quiet, deliberate. You've done worse for less. I exhale sharply, my grip tightening. You stole from me. No. He takes a step forward. I took back what was mine. I laugh, but it's hollow, forced. That's your justification? Jacob shakes his head. That's the truth. His gaze pins me in place, calm but razor sharp. You keep looking at me like I'm the thief. But what does that make you? The words hit like a gut punch. My jaw tightens. I want to fire back, to shut him down, but something inside me stirs, a feeling I don't like. Jacob doesn't stop. You took deals that weren't yours to take. You crushed people who trusted you. And when I ended up on the streets, you gave me $100 like it would erase everything. I open my mouth, but I have nothing to say, because he's not wrong. And for the first time in my life, I hate what I see in the mirror. Jacob moves closer, his voice unwavering. You didn't earn everything, Damian. You took it. Heat rises in my chest, a mix of defensiveness and something dangerously close to shame. I built this empire from nothing. No, Jacob says, his eyes burning into mine. You built it on the ruins of people like me. I swallow hard. You weren't the only one trying to escape the bottom. His voice is quieter now, but heavier. You just climbed over the rest of us to get there. The weight of his words settles in my chest. For years, I told myself I was a self-made man, that I deserved all of this. But how many people did I step on to reach the top? Jacob isn't just some ghost from my past. He's proof that the past never really disappears. I feel the cracks widening in my foundation. And for the first time, I don't know how to fix them. I expected anger, resentment, revenge. But Jacob isn't gloating. He looks at me, and for a moment, I don't see hatred. I see pity. I didn't come here to ruin you, he says. I came to see if you were already ruined. I feel something twist inside me. He's not trying to take me down. He wants to know if I've already done it to myself. And now that I see it, asterisk, asterisk, now that I feel it. Asterisk, asterisk, what happens next? My pulse pounds in my ears. I look at the car. The same car Jacob built. The one I stole without ever getting my hands dirty. I take a breath. It feels sharp, unfamiliar. Then I reach for my phone. Not to call the police. To call my lawyer. I hear myself say the words before I fully process them. Draw up the papers. The car is his. For the first time, Jacob's expression shifts. Just for a second, a flicker of surprise. Then something else. Respect? Closure? I don't know. It's not enough to erase the past. But maybe it's a start. I pull the keys from my pocket and toss them. Jacob catches them effortlessly, his eyes never leaving mine. No grand speeches. No apologies. Just action. He nods once. I turn and step outside. The cold air rushes against my skin, crisp and biting. But for the first time in years, it doesn't feel suffocating. It feels lighter. Because I'm not running from my past anymore. I'm facing it. And maybe, just maybe, I'm finally ready to change. I step into my penthouse, the weight of the past few days pressing against my shoulders. The city sprawls beneath me, glittering under the night sky. But for the first time, it doesn't impress me. The skyline, the view, the life I built, it all feels hollow. I loosen my tie. exhaling sharply, but the breath doesn't ease the tension in my chest. I won, right? I kept my empire. I gotta walk away. I should feel powerful, in control. So why do I feel like I lost something? I glance at my phone. Hundreds of names. Executives, board members, business partners. People who return my calls because they have to, but not one person I trust. Not one person I can call just to talk. I grip the phone tighter. For the first time, a thought sneaks in. A thought I don't want to acknowledge. Is this what success really looks like? Restless. I do something I haven't done in years. I reach out. I call an old colleague. The first man I ever undercut in a business deal. I don't ask for forgiveness. I offer him an opportunity. No tricks. No contracts with hidden clauses. I make anonymous donations to struggling businesses. Ones that remind me of Jacob's company before I crushed it. I sit in meetings and listen. Not to negotiate, not to win, but just to listen. I try. But is this change or just another transaction? A way to make peace with my own conscience? If I had never seen Jacob again, would I still be the same ruthless man? The question sits heavy in my chest. I don't have an answer. Not yet. Jacob grips the steering wheel, the car humming beneath his fingers. The same car he built. The same car Damian took. He won. He got it back. So, why does it feel like nothing? He thought this would fix something inside him. That watching Damian finally see the truth would bring closure. But as he drives through the streets, the ones he used to know, the ones that forgot him just as quickly as Damian did, the victory feels hollow. What did he really gain? A car? A moment of righteousness? Nothing he lost has truly returned. He pulls over at an empty lot. The place where he and Damian built their first car together. He steps out, breathing in the night air, his fingers grazing the hood of the car as a memory washes over him. Two boys, covered in grease, laughing. A handshake, a promise. No matter what happens, we make it together. Back then, success wasn't about power. It was about freedom. They weren't just fixing cars. They were building a future. Jacob leans against the hood, staring up at the sky. Maybe it was never about revenge. Maybe he just wanted to be remembered. For years, he blamed Damian for everything he lost. But was Damian really the only one at fault? Maybe he could have fought harder. Maybe he could have found another way. Maybe holding on to resentment had cost him more than Damian ever did. For the first time, he wonders if he should have chosen forgiveness instead. A few days later, I find an unmarked envelope on my desk. Inside, there's a single note. We were both thieves. You just wore a better suit. But maybe you still have time to be more than that. Attached is the car's key. Jacob returned it. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. It was never about the car. It was never even about the money. It was about the men we became. Jacob walked away. But he didn't leave with revenge. He left me with something else. A choice. I can keep taking, keep winning, keep justifying. Or I can finally, truly change. For the first time, I know which path I want to take. I slide the key into my pocket, my grip tightening, not out of possession, but out of resolve. I won't just buy redemption. I'll earn it. I won't just fix the past. I'll build a better future. This time, I won't just take. This time, I will choose differently.